Hello, dear colleagues. Good evening. So we start our next meeting after a long summer break. It's my pleasure to see people, colleagues, coaches I know personally. And of course, I welcome new faces, new members of our English coaching club. So for those coaches who don't know me personally, I would like to introduce myself shortly. So on the screen, you can see some basic information about myself. So I have PhD in linguistics. So I teach 3 languages, English, German, and Spanish. And now I'm learning Portuguese as well. So I'm PCC coach. I have this credential, professional certified coach by the ICF, International Coach Federation. And I'm a mentor coach and a member of ICF Russia. So I would like to share my mission with you. So it's the purpose of these meetings of English Coaching Club. So my mission is to create and to do my best at maintaining our community of professional coaches in Russian-speaking countries who love learning, practicing, using English in their life and career. So it's my mission. I hope you like it. And I would like to share it with you and to grow together. Not only in English, but in coaching as well. So some words about our agenda. So agenda of our meeting today. So we have our special guest, Elena Espinal. She will talk about coaching and culture in English, about 40 minutes. Then it's our pleasure to have a demo session with Elena. Elena is master certified coach, and we can learn with Elena and from Elena. So then we will have 15 minutes time to give our feedback and ask questions to Elena. Yeah? So, and the second part for coaches who are interested in my programs, English for Coaches, I will present them shortly and I will answer your questions in Russian. Okay, but the first part, the most important part is our first part. So it's my honor and pleasure to have Elena with us today. So Elena has PhD. So she is a master certified coach by the ICF. And Elena has a big experience in leadership development, in coaching, training, mentoring, team building services, strategic planning. So on the screen, you have basic information about Elena. And if you have any questions, you can contact Elena using her mail address. So it was a short introducing. And now, Elena, the floors are yours. You're welcome. I will end screen sharing and you're welcome.
Thank you, Dimitri. Do you listen well?
Yes, and I hope other participants too. So please, dear colleagues, use chat if you have any questions, or if you have opportunity, so to raise a hand, switch video and ask your question with audio. It's always pleasure. I want to make our interaction, our meeting as interaction as possible. Okay, yeah. Elena, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's my invitation to, is interrupt me the times you want, make your questions in the time the question comes. You know as coaches that if you think another thing, you will get engaged in that old conversation and we will continue. So you will get out of the conversation where we are in. So stop me the number of times you want. My aim here is to serve you and to make a difference if it is possible in your coaching practice. Yeah? And I want to share with you, I will share my screen. I want to share with you some experiences I had working with different cultures. And I want to divide this in two. What happens when I was hired to coach an executive that was coming to Mexico, especially from another country, and then some experiences where I worked with a coach for trying to understand another primitive cultures. I did that in Africa, in Mexico, in Argentina, and also I have some experience to share, to enjoy and share with you about my work with blind coaches, where we trained more than 50 in a great and very inspiring project. So let's talk a little about what do we mean by culture. As you know, we live in a very big paradigm that is our language. And language already is a paradigm. When we use words, we are not talking about the thing. We are receiving an image and feeling some emotions and giving a meaning to that word according to what that represents for us. It's not the thing, it's a representation of the thing. So different cultures share a point of view about the world. That's why you can live in Russia, for example, and probably for me will be a little more difficult. Or if you come to Mexico, you will not understand some things. When I went to Mexico for the first time 20 years ago, it took me a time to learn how to eat and how to relate with leaders and with employees in Mexico. No? Something that cultures share is historicity. And historicity is more than history. Is the way we interpret our daily life. It has to do with the emotions that we also pass to our descendants, to our sons and daughters, to our grandkids. We share much more than what we think we share. So let me tell some general things about how to approach to a different culture. First of all, even when we talk about being open, having a way of listening that could be active or generated or generous listening, I always ask people, and I try to be as humble as possible, because even in those cases, you always have a bias for listening from the place you can listen. So when you coach or you begin working with another culture, it's very important to ask a lot of questions. What do you mean with this word? How do you see these things? I have some examples to show you. So we have a lot of biases and assessments about others. It happened to me when I arrived to Mexico. In Argentina, where I was born, we have a style very European. In Mexico, they are more influenced by the indigenous people. So it was very difficult to see managers not being very European. But when there was one looking a little more indigenous, I had to fight with my own assessment that that man was not so prepared as the other ones. So even when you try to be generous, there's a bias in our way of looking to the world that we have to pay attention to. The other thing is, if you go to other country, try to respect and be curious. Don't make assessments before trying, before taking the way of being that they have. I saw a lot of people failing. For example, coming to Mexico, because they began saying, but here I can't find the cheese that I'm used to. Here, the sweet things are different than in my country. Here, people relate to time very differently and they are never in a hurry. And I need decisions taken as soon as possible because I have no money. Yes, but that's the culture. Here, the processes take time. So if you can't wait for that time and you can't respect the way of being, go to another place. You can't change a culture being so rude, because what you will create is resistance. And also being able to listen to their dreams and needs. What happened to me is Argentina, for example, is a country where people always live in a hurry, and we are always preoccupied of what is going to happen tomorrow. I remember when I was living here more than 20 years ago, I was every evening that I went to bed thinking if I could cover the checks that I would have the next day. Once I went to Mexico, I saw that I couldn't sleep thinking of the checks of the next day. And I was in Mexico. There were no checks, nothing to pay the other day. But the culture was living still in me, and all my mood was still there. And I had to learn that times were different, that in Mexico you can plan for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years in your life. So those are subtle things that you need to learn. So some of my experiences. This is a case of a woman. I was hired to coach her. She was French. She is French. She is working for a very, very big Belgian company in Mexico. And she was desperate because people here, when she was telling them to be a leader, they were obedient. And that's true. They were obedient because people in Mexico is obedient. It's very difficult that they take decisions without asking permission. They are afraid of doing it. They were raised in a culture with parents that never let them take decisions. So if you want people to take decisions, you have to teach them and allow them and get in conversations about there's nothing at risk if you want to take decisions. Also, what means to be a good employee? Years ago, more than now, in Mexico, being a good employee was being absolutely free to stay at the company even until 10 o'clock at night. So you were a very good employee if you put a great effort and you were working a lot. Not results. It was time and effort. And that was what they said. I am a very good employee because I couldn't reach the result, but look how much I did. So until you understand that, you can't begin changing that. Because if you begin saying them, but you are a bad employee, they can't understand it. They think you are going against them. Assessments about time. There's a word that, Dimitri, probably you can help me. They use the word ahorita. Ahorita is a diminutive of now, like a little now, yes? When they say ahorita, it means probably or never or next time we can meet. Doesn't mean that they are coming just now. And I remember it happened to me that I claimed for something that I was waiting, and the employee told me ahorita, and I stayed 2 hours in my desk waiting this person to come. This person didn't come. It was 9 o'clock at night. I left the office. Next day didn't come. The day after that, I found him. And I said, I'm still waiting for the papers. And he said, I said, now, ahorita. I didn't say I go now. So sometimes there are ways of talking that is necessary to learn what they mean. For example, this. Ahorita means it is possible if we have time, if we meet again. There's no commitment in there. Also, this woman had assessments about authority and proximity. Mexican people are very close, are passionate, they love music, and they bend in front of authority. For example, parents are venerated, no? But for this woman that had not this relationship with her parents, and that the relationship was not so close with people that even they could give a kiss to her, she was astonished looking at the people trying to give her a kiss. So part of my work as a coach was showing her a new way of looking at the people and understanding a culture where even if she wanted to change that culture, the first thing that she had to do is to understand what it was happening. I don't know if there are questions until here. Dimitri, if you can help me, because I have the complete screen with the presentation. Is there any question?
Elena, at the moment, no questions, yeah. Dear colleagues, please use our chat box to write your questions, or maybe you can do it with your voice and video. You're welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, other things I had, and this is something that I'm so grateful to life. I was hired to work with some indigenous tribes, some in Africa, for example, the Maasai tribes. And something interesting that they have is that as a primitive culture, you know, men in our evolution, we belong to the kingdom of monkeys, yeah? Monkeys, as mamíferos, used to work in groups. So in the way they relate, there is not an I, it is an us. All the animals that live in cattle or in groups, they used to live in an us. There is no an I. There is not an individual, no? And for example, for the Maasais, they are very rich in land. They have a very big percentage of what Kenya and Tanzania are as countries, and is Maasai land. But it's not the land of Peter or Dimitris or George or John. It's Maasai land. So they used to live from cattle. But if Dimitri goes with the cattle to this piece of land close to where they have their own houses, George has to walk away to another piece of land because there is Dimitri. The land is not from each of the people. The land is shared. So they walk a lot, and the cows used to be very thin because they have to walk a lot. But that's the way they live. And the interesting thing is that there's nothing of my own. It's from us. We are Maasai. Also, what is family for them? They live, the leader, when gets married, asks the wife to build a house. It's a very small hut. You will see a picture. Here's the door. This is a Maasai woman, no? And as many cattle they could have, he can buy or he can have more wives. They pay a tribute to the parents of the woman that he likes. And he can have as many women as he can give animals for having them. In general, are like the best women, 9 cows. So they can use cows, they can use goats. They give a present to the father to take this woman with them. And all the women build a house, one close to the other one. One is close to the door to the left, the other one is close to the door to the right, and then the other one, and then the other one to the left, one to the right, one to the left, one to the right. And they grow their kids all together. The kids are from the family. They used to do it all together. So family has a different concept of what we think. Also, they have a different relationship with sex. For example, a girl or a boy can have sex whenever they feel the need to have it. Yes? But they have some special occasions where they pass from being a kid to being a man. They call being a warrior. And they have this ritual where they learn to dance. They are prepared by like a godfather for a year or a little more. And they learn to dance. They learn to confront fear. They have to pass one night alone in the middle of nothing. And in general, they confront lions, for example. They say that the lions are afraid of them. And this is a ritual for them. Yes? So for women, there is not this ritual. The ritual is performed when they are getting married. Also, as I wrote here, is what is being poor. When I asked that question for them, they said, poor is that man that has no kids, because if he has no kids, he has not help for taking care of the cattle, and have no cattle. So if they don't have cattle, they can have more women to have more kids. Now, what happens when one of these persons that understands poverty like this, that live like this, look at them, they are walking with the cattle in the middle of nothing. Yes? What happens if they go to a city? When they go to a city, this way of living didn't prepare them for the abilities, capabilities, and sensibilities to live in a city. So instead of being poor, if you want to call them like that, they are miserable because they don't see any possibility for learning a new way of living where they can adapt and earn the money they need to be like a person that was grown in the city. And sometimes there are 2 or 3 generations lost in this learning. The same happened with the Mayans in the south of Mexico. They have something very close about being poor. The only difference is that they have cattle or they grow flowers. So they use the money to buy cars or trucks to move their products. And they claim to be respected as Mayans and not as Mexicans. They say we are Mayans, we are not Mexicans, because in Guatemala there are Mayans too. And for the authority, they don't recognize the governor or the people that is governing their cities or their small towns. The only authorities that they recognize are the old people of the city. And something very interesting is, I saw a woman sitting down on the floor. Look at here. The same thing that we saw in Africa, kids are taking care of the cattle. This is one of my work with them. Look at these women, all with their traditional dresses, working with us. I was really moved when this happened. Look at this. We had people that used to embroider. We had people with cattle, and we had people that used to plant flowers. I am there working with them. No? Here, these women, I remember when I work with the artisans, and I said, why don't you create something like a cooperative? All that you embroider, you put it all together, and the same government can help you in selling this, even exporting it to other countries. And one of the women said, no, you don't understand. My designs, I inherited from my mother and from my grandmother and from my grandmother, and it's the only thing that I have for my kids. So if I share that in a cooperative, I don't have anything to leave to the ones that come after me. And that's very important for them. So I was hired by government, and I told the government, look, this is their heritage. This is the only thing they have. So I asked to be respected. Women also used to be bare naked feet, no? Because they need to be in contact with the soil. When they want to get pregnant, if they want to have kids, they had to be in contact with the soil. Instead, men use shoes to get separated from the soil because they have to be in contact with the sky, where they talk with the gods just to have the luck and the help for growing their flowers or the fruits and managing their cattle. So it's a very different culture. Another thing that happened here was the government offered to put a floor, cement floor, in their huts. And it was a gift for them. And they said, no, I don't want it. And I got engaged in that. And I said, but you know, it will be more clean. It will be easier for you. And one of them laughed at me and said, you know something? There are 2,000 years that we live like this. And you can't imagine how hot it is to live in the middle of the jungle. And if we don't have the soil on the floor, the kind of heat that is inside the hut makes it impossible to live. So what I want to show you, I will not talk about this because if not, we will not have time. But what I want to show you is that lots of times when we are in front of a different culture, we come without noticing from our culture and we impose violence against them. Because we try to impose our own interpretation of the word, trying to help them. But the only thing that will create is resistance and rage, and the sense that we owe them something. That's what they are claiming. Do you want to give me? Give me, because you owe me. You destroyed my culture. You didn't respect me. And I think in this world that is getting globalized, we need to be more humble. And probably coaches have this mission of listening and understanding cultures and looking to these new other ways of seeing the world, and probably learning from them a lot. I had a story about time with a boy from the Com. This is in the Impenetrable, in the Chaco, in the north of Argentina, in the jungle too. And the guy went to school in the right, late to school. So the teacher told her, Pedrito, you're again late. And the kid answered, no, teacher. I just woke up and came to school. And I called the teacher and said, he's understanding time different than you. You understand time with a watch in your hands. For him, time is how he uses time. Know the minutes that are running. So if you can listen that, not only you will grow a lot, you will be much more respectful of others. And you can be a channel of communication with a very extended culture that is being very violent, with other cultures that are very ancient, especially the ones that are very ancient, or the ones that we call are more primitive. It's my question. Are them primitive? I don't know. So this is part of what I wanted to share. And the other thing that I want to share, because it was another culture for me, is my work with blind people. And I got in contact with them through this woman that has the eyes closed. And you see a blind woman trying to take a picture. This girl taught blind people to take pictures. And this is the foundation, Sight of Emotion, that called me to teach some exercises, team exercises to work in companies and earn some money. No? They put the camera on the front and they take the pictures, and here are some pictures taken by them. So look at them, look at what kind of pictures they can take, and you will begin to ask yourself how they do it. How can they do this? Well, they can do this because they feel light as heat. They make you talk to know how far are you, how tall are you to take a picture. No? And this man is the eldest one that we have. It's called Ruben. And Ruben, I remember my first class, I had to talk about possibility. I think coaching has to do with creating possibility. And he stopped my class in a moment and said, how do you dare to talk about possibility? I ruined my family. I woke up blind after a heart attack, and I couldn't continue working. My son had to quit from the university and begin working. And my daughter is studying at night and working during the day to maintain the family. And I am like a thing at home. And after listening to that story that I could understand perfectly well and moved me a lot, I began to say, yes, but he has the possibility of creating a possibility. So I began asking questions to him. And 20 minutes after that, he said, now I know why I am blind. I never talked to my family about love. I dedicated my life to work, and I thought that that was a demonstration of love because they didn't need anything. They had everything they wanted and needed. And now they have to give me. And the only thing I can say is thank you and I love you. And his life changed and changed his relationship with his family. I learned also about trust because there's not only the trust in yourself, in your client, in the process. They had to learn about trusting life. I saw them running in the street to go to a coffee shop to take a coffee. I tried to close my eyes and run after them. And I was in panic. I was afraid of crashing myself against a wall or a tree. So I could feel that I didn't trust life in the way they did it. That was a great learning for me. I also learned compassion. And compassion, like being in the same passion, not trying to understand with your head, but comprehending the others, feeling what they are feeling, trying to be really with the other. I also learned with vulnerability. And I think vulnerability is the most basic emotion that allows you to acknowledge and recognize any other emotion. If you are not vulnerable, you can't say, I'm afraid. If you are not vulnerable, you can't say, I'm sad. And every baby is born vulnerable. It's our culture the one that makes him replace that for being strong, because we confuse vulnerability with being weak. Being weak is another thing. If something hurts you, and you are so afraid of getting hurt again that you avoid being hurt. Being vulnerable means probably it hurts me, but I can begin again. Because if I'm open to the other feelings and to my own feelings, I will also feel love, closeness, being tender with others. So I learned a lot about vulnerability with them. And the other thing that I learned there are a group of emotions that have to do with culture. For example, when you feel guilty, it's not only you feeling guilty. For sure, the culture has an assessment that says, feel guilty because you did this. So there's something that happens with some emotions that are not personal. They occur in the intersubjectival space, in the social space, in the relationship with others, are social. And also are moral because culture has an assessment about them. Guilt has to do with what you do or you don't do. But shame has to do with who you are. So when you feel you are not enough, when you feel you are not accepted, not proper, you feel shame. And since I distinguished shame, I began to listen shame in my coaching sessions, not before that.
Elena? Elena, sorry
Yes.
for interrupting. We have 5 minutes till our
Okay,
demo.
thank you. We are finishing.
Okay. Do you need some seconds, or we can start with questions?
We can start with questions, and we stop here if you want.
Yeah, I think so. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time. But anyway, colleagues, please be active and prepare your questions. I have one question from our Skype, from our chat box. So Marina is asking, so what kind of difficulties did you meet working with clients from different cultures, Elena? Maybe what were the biggest difficulties for you?
Understanding and comprehending them. Being as humble as possible to understand their way of seeing life. And then showing them our own way of seeing life. Not from a position of power, but from a position of, we are humans. There's some things that we are blind. We are like swimming in this pool and we don't know that water. Only when you are out of the water, you can see it. And the same happens with culture. So I had meaning of words. Even sometimes it happened to me that I knocked at the door of a director trying to be close, and I did. That means here in Argentina something funny. But in Mexico, that's an insult. And I did it. And this man came to the door, opened the door in rage and said, I hope you are not meaning what you did. And I said, well, my meaning was trying to be close to you. And he said, what you did is terrible here. Terrible in Mexico. It's an insult. So even speaking Spanish, even belonging to the same continent, the differences are very big.
Okay, great. We have another question. So Janara, if I pronounce your name correctly, maybe you can ask yourself the question. Just switch microphone and you're welcome.
Yeah, I did. Hi everybody. Hi Elena. Thank you so much for your... I'm good, thank you. And it's perfect pronounce my name. Thank you very much for such inspiring presentation. And I was listening with all interest what you've done and what you're working on. And my question is, what was the moment for you when you actually began to hear the other people from the other cultures? And what was the most valuable in that moment for you? Thank you.
Look, Shanara, I always stood up and got close to them, saying, I came open to listen. Yeah? And it's not true, because we are managed by our paradigm. Yeah? Now, in some moments, and it's not on purpose, something happens that you are vulnerable and open, and you listen another kind of emotion, you feel something, you ask a question, and that question makes a big difference. I used to study a lot of anthropology. I wrote a book that is called Crafting the Future. That is, it's written for understanding our relationship with future. And I think coaches we need to understand our relationship with future, because we are always building future with our clients. Yes? And when I read this about primitive cultures, and that probably the first word that a human being pronounced was not a word, was a sign, and was this one: you. You broke the sense of the cattle, of the belonging to the us. And that created individuality and created fear, that is the emotional base of Occidental human beings. Fear. Because you have to measure yourself against whatever it is outside. Even more, I think we don't know love, really. Because love means that you are able of getting lost in the we with the other one. And when we are in that moment, we try to come back to us. So the way we manage love is through control. The way we manage fear is through control. And that's a big work that coaches, we need to do with ourselves. So when I listen this from some indigenous people, that they don't have the I, they understand the we, I got really moved. They know love better than us. They can respect nature as part of themselves. They can respect the others as part of themselves. We don't do that.
Thank you, Elena. So at the moment we don't have any further questions, but I'm sure after demo session you will get a lot of questions. Okay, so if you don't mind, we can move to a demo. So Ekaterina, are you here? So Ekaterina is going to be your client today.
I'm here.
Okay, great. So Elena, one question before you start. So should I let you know that your time is finishing of session, or you don't need? Okay, and 5 minutes till the end, 10 minutes?
Tell me 10 minutes before.
10 minutes before. Okay, good. So good luck with your session. Enjoy your session. And we are looking forward for your session. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Katerina.
Hello, it's just simply Katya. Katya is okay for me.
Kati?
Katya.
Katya.
Katya. Mm-hmm.
Katya. Thank you, Katya. I am honored.
Yeah, also a pleasure for me to have this chance today.
Thank you for trusting in this conversation that we can have.
Yeah, I was pleased and touched by your presentation, by your wisdom that we were talking about. It's really something that it is interesting for me also, this topic, and it touched me mostly the information about blind people as well. So very interesting, and hope it will be continued.
Okay, whenever you want. Tell me, Katya, what do you want to talk today?
You know, I would like to discuss the topic in 2 words. I would like to receive back my energy, my feelings, my understanding that I can be happy, that everything is going on very good, because what in details, if for you information for you, what happened, just I had a dream some years I wanted to visit a country, island, and I had a dream to visit special festival, art and music festival, and everything was prepared. There was tickets bought, and we organized the company of people, and everything went well till I received rejection. I received cancellation of my visa recently, so my visit will stop, so I will not go anywhere, and I feel bad in this situation, and I would like to find resources, my own resources, to overcome negative feelings, to overcome bad thoughts, and begin to feel better. This is what I'm going to do by the end of the session.
Okay, so what I understood is that you had a dream that was to take a trip to an art festival.
Yeah.
And you had everything prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And when you thought that everything was ready, your visa was rejected.
Yeah.
And you couldn't go. But I also heard there that you said something like, I want my feelings back. Did you say that?
Yeah, because I was in a good mood before. And I was inspired by the future events, and I thought it would be so nice being together with my team, with a group of my friends and close people.
And what do you mean by having them back?
It means that I lost a little bit. I lost positive feeling. I lost energy. I lost positiveness. I am staying, I would say, angry for circumstances, for myself, and I want to let it go, let it away, not to be in this mood, and to be positive again. This is what I meant by get it back.
Yeah. But you said you lost energy.
Mm-hmm.
And anger has a lot of energy. So what energy did you lose?
You see, I just was inspired, and I felt how energetic was I during these moments. I had a lot of dreams. I imagined how lovely would it be that we will have fun, that we will travel, see. And this was the country I never been, and I dreamt that I would visit new places and everything like this. And now losing this opportunity, I felt a little bit empty, or how to explain. You know, even this is not very good maybe comparison, but I feel used, because in this situation with visa, where I have no control on giving me visa, because it is not me who can control it, but I feel as if I have to bear responsibility for the whole world, because they do not respect that. For example, Russian people they think that old Russians want to stay in Ireland, and they do not want to return back. That's why they have suspicion. And I feel as if I need to bear this responsibility for those people who really would like to stay, and I am not going to. And I cannot control this. And I would like to escape from these feelings, to blame this or that, because I want to bear my own responsibility for something that I really can control in my life. This is important for me.
The word being used.
Mm-hmm.
Why you were used and not the others?
Oui.
Why you were used?
Why I were used? Because it is written now your connection is not stable. Is it for you as well? No?
I listen to you perfectly well.
Okay,
and
okay. Probably. Okay, so why I was used? Because I have all documentation prepared as a normal person. I had everything done, but they did not feel that probably I have enough ground for coming back to Russia. And I was, the feeling if you are under
under
suspicion, then you feel uncomfortable with this, as if you made something wrong. And this is my feeling now, because I did not do anything wrong, and even I was not going to stay there forever. I just wanted to have fun, nothing else. And now I need to I wouldn't say suffer, but at least I feel not comfortable in this situation, not even because I would never go there. Probably in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, I would have chance to visit. But the feeling that I would get rid of is not so good for me. That's why I would like to gain positive feelings back.
Okay. What are the positive feelings that you want back?
Energy, as I said, and interest, and
interest about what?
Interest about anything else except this situation. Just go out of this circle. Also feeling that I can manage situations myself, not someone can rule me. And I feel that I lost this feeling. I would like to be again a ruler and controller of my own life.
You want to be the ruler of your own life.
Right.
Okay. And after all you have said, that you listen to yourself, what do you want to work in this 20 minutes that we have?
Probably when I share everything with you, I will gain more positiveness, more smile, more something around me what can also make me smile. Makes me smile.
And why is this so important for you?
Sorry again, please.
Why is this so important for you?
Who?
Why is this subject
why you
so
mean?
important for you?
Why it is important for me? Well, because of my dignity. Because I am confident in the moment when I can manage my life myself. Because it gives me more resources to live my own life myself without interfering some unexpected cases into my life. Yeah, something like this.
Okay, so this will be important because you think that you will get another feelings and that you can manage better unexpected cases, or will never happen unexpected cases?
Yeah.
What do you want?
I want to let my negative feelings away if such cases happen. Yeah.
Okay. And what feelings do you want to feel? You said energized?
Relaxation, in the moment when I have negativeness, for sure I would like better to feel relaxed, free from circumstances, free from causing bad emotions, free from being stressed, for example.
Okay. And how do you know that you are free of those emotions and stress?
It is a special feeling. For example, when I would like to create something, when I feel that there is no boundaries, when I feel that everything is possible for me, that I can influence my life, not anyone else, that I can construct, for example, my future, my events, my life, my weekends, my vacation as I want.
Okay. Is there some special feeling when this happens? In your body, for example?
Yeah, there is a feeling of flying, for example. Feeling of this time, if I feel this, then there is a lot of humor in my life. I like to smile. I like talks to people. I like to find something interesting. I have a lot of interests in everything I'm curious about. And if not, then everything is blocked.
Okay. So if I understood well, what you want to work is to recover this feeling energized, feeling free of designing your own life. No? Take control of your future, managing your circumstances. And you notice that when you feel like flying, that what other things come to you that we can use to know that you get to that point in this conversation? Flying, what else?
Flying, smiling.
Smiling.
What else? Just I'm very much confident in these moments.
Okay. Okay. How do you know when you're confident?
If I am sitting, for example, like this with my shoulders opened, and in this situation, I feel like this, as if I am restricted, as if I am afraid of something, as if I am pressed, stressed, whatever. So I would like to make my body even relaxed and being open to the world, to any changes, even negative changes. So perceive it positively and perceive it as a lesson, as a learning, not as just it happened and I feel negatively. No, it could be. I would like to feel it like it was my learning, and we go away and we run away. I run away somewhere.
Okay.
Towards my interests and goals.
So if you gain again this energetic position, you can trust yourself and you smile and your body is again open, and instead of being like this, and you feel that you have some control on your future and your life, that would mean that the session was worth it?
I think so.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Now, Katya, let's make a little game.
Okay.
Imagine that in the wall of your room, there's a fly that knows you a lot since you were a little girl. This is an intelligent fly, no? Knows your parents, knows your house, knows how you live, and even more, knows how you think. And imagine that I go to that fly and ask the fly, tell me, fly, I listen to Katya talking, but I think Katya knows something else about what happened to her when the visa was denied. What would the fly tell me?
What happened?
The fly knows that something else happened to you when the visa was denied. What would the fly tell me?
I think that the fly can tell you that something ruined, and this was, you know, when you live in the world when you can achieve everything. For example, if you every time can receive, so there are not a lot of denies in your world, and then you have the first serious deny, then it is like an obstacle or it is a issue with a feeling that how comes, why it happens, I do not deserve the failure like this.
Okay, so the fly just said something very important, and this was the very first time that Katya received a no at her face. And I would ask another question to the fly. What she could learn from there?
She could learn that it is such a tiny thing, it is such a small thing to be worried about first. Because, yeah, visa itself, visa itself not a problem at all. There is something else that comes into contradiction with my perception of what a person can depend on. Circumstances or power of some clerk, of bureaucracy, of whatever. And I feel that there are so many people in the world who experience from bureaucracy a lot of denies. And this feeling of I understand that the world is not perfect, but I do not want to accept it. And this is what I am feeling, why I am feeling so bad. And I would be more wise probably and think that for sure there could be much more serious cases to be worried about, but still and imperfection in life, it is everywhere, and you should not wait for perfect world around you.
Now, look at this. do you think life really is imperfect?
I thought before not. I thought it is so bright and full of colors, and everything is opened for me. And while facing this difficulty, something stopped, and I understood that, yeah, there are a lot of situations when you need to look back, or you turn your head and feel like many other people, and I would not like to do this still.
Okay. Yeah, but look at this. You told me that you were moved by this, that I talked about the blind people. All these blind people became blind being adults. If they think that life was not just, there was no justice for them, they wouldn't create any other possibility. Instead, they prefer to think life is life, and probably I am the one that is resisting to accept what it is and thinking how to win with what it is. And that opened a big possibility for them. So,
Right.
what do you think if one of those blind people, they reject a visa for them?
Yeah, it is nothing for them, for sure. And they're very strong people.
Why? It's nothing.
Yeah, they had such a pain. I mean, they had such a big difficulty in their life, and they're capable to resist and survive, and not only admire life with all this imperfection.
So, what can you do to accept life like it is?
There are a lot of thoughts. There are a lot of, some of them, for example, that, yeah, for sure, not even to focus on such tiny things and go away and just continue focusing on positive things and find other colors in life. Yeah.
And you said another thing that I was moved by that. You said there's such a lot of people that are feeling injustices. So who could you be for them if you can look from this another point of view?
Yeah, just example that, for example, even for those people, 35 people, 31 people who are today now observing this session, just an example that we can choose our way, how to look at things. We can find colors in something else, in some positive things ourselves. It's just a matter of our choice. It's just matter of our imagination, even.
Mm-hmm. What's your choice today?
Yeah, I just imagine it was such a good example with blind people. I understood for a moment that my example today and my worry was so tiny in comparison what those people are feeling, experiencing in life and how they are struggling easily, and probably not easily, but how they are strong facing such difficulties. And yeah, my example is just nothing in comparison with this. It is just a dot in the big circle. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think could be your next reaction in front of something where life is saying, by the moment, no?
Yeah. In situation where I can fight with, I mean, I can struggle, I can have energy and resources to overcome. For sure, you need to find everything that you have at the moment and go quickly. And very important thing, that leaving back what you have at what you failed, and go away and even run away, just doing something more important.
Okay. What would be very important for you to do now?
For me now,
in life.
I mean, in this particular case, with my visa, yes. I took a decision for myself not to take it as granted, this example. And for example, today I was in embassy and I wrote 2 letters, 2 pages in English about my dream. It was such a funny letter to them, that it was my dream. I wanted to visit the festival, and it was, I think, probably that they will see, they will take into consideration my report, and they will not reject me. So I was not going to just to accept it and put it away. Yes, I made everything what I could do. But even if I reject the next time, then I would think that, yeah, there are other directions. For example, there are other festivals, there are other situations where I can be more happier and happy with my close people, with my friends, and yeah, it will be next time with other people, next positive feelings.
Do you remember what you wanted to work, Katya?
Again, please.
Do you remember what you wanted to work?
I wanted, yes, for sure. I wanted to feel better. I wanted to feel more relaxed, feel more freedom, to smile. And I am looking at my face. I am smiling now.
And what about your shoulders?
I can't say that they are fully opened, but it is, yeah, at least I feel much better now. I must admit this.
Okay. Do you need something else in this very short conversation that I would love to continue? But we have a restriction in time.
I understand.
Is it okay for you until here? Do you need something else to be clear?
Yeah, we could probably, if we had more time, then we could continue the conversation about this in future. But as we had no, then probably it is okay for me to finish the conversation.
Okay. There you have my email. Write me if you want, and we get connected.
Elena, I do not hear you.
Is it okay for you?
It was frozen now for a moment.
Yeah, there is my email. You can write me and we can continue with this activity.
Oh, great. Thank you for this opportunity. I will definitely write you.
It will be a pleasure and thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Muchas gracias.
Gracias a ti. Thank you.
Estoy feliz.
Okay, colleagues. Many thanks, Elena, Katya. So, Katya, thank you for being so open and courageous to work in public. It's not so easy. And Elena, it's great session, great questions, great compassion. Everything was so great. And now the time for questions, maybe, yeah? So we have one question from Natalia Salasova. Natalia, could you ask it yourself? Or should I read out loud your question?
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I will do it without cam, if you
But
don't
with
mind.
voice, but with voice to practice more.
Yeah, with voice.
Great.
Yeah, let me read it, and yeah, it's in English. Elena, I was going to thank you for your presentation, which may be not considered to be a presentation, but showing your rich inner world, your hard life universities, which made you the person we are facing now. And I would like to thank you for the chance to see how vulnerable the person can be, even having all these titles, all these names, all these statuses. And you did show a great example for us of the inner balance, of the high extent curiosity and readiness to be open and delicate with other human beings. And I would like to ask you what helps you to switch off your intelligent understanding, your experiences, and of course interpretation about others, and let the comprehension process happens. This is my first question, and another one. Actually, I was astonished by one moment during the session, and that's why I proceeded asking how during the sessions you manage to cooperate or to deal with your own fears and love, to be as efficient and self-confident, to be here and now with an individual. Thank you.
Well, first thing is, I try to be curious. I try to think all the time that it's an honor, the person that is in front, and that I don't know anything. That being curious, paying attention to the voice, to the gestures, to the emotions that were happening in Katya, were the only way of being with her. I really think that what serves in coaching is when you are so present that you help the other one to listen to herself or himself. Not that you listen. You make the other one the space to listen to herself or himself. Obviously, this was a very interesting session. And here there were two things that I want to show as technique, if you allow me. I prefer to use two metaphors just to get into the subject and as fast as possible. One was the fly on the wall. And that brought something very interesting that she didn't say before. But when she listened to that, she changed absolutely the observer. When she said, this was the first time that she was rejected. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
This was the first time that, in a way, she confronted life saying no. So it's like getting to the world from your innocence and receiving the first lesson. I asked her about the lesson, saying what the fly says about this. What do you have to learn from here? And she said that life is not like you want. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Life could not be
Perfect.
Perfect, yes.
And just.
And then what I heard is that she has an image of how life should be. And life is life, you know that. We have to do our movements in what is happening in life, not bringing life to move in the way we want, because that's impossible. So I remembered that she said that she was moved by the blind people. So I used that example to say how they could recover from there and create possibilities. And she said, if I compare with that, this is a dot, nothing. So there, what it was built was a new observer. And I think that's the most important thing. When you can observe from a different point of view, your actions will be different than the ones that you had before.
Thank you, Elena, for the answer. Okay, colleagues, please, if you have some specific questions about the session or in general for Elena, you're welcome. And I have 2 questions, Elena,
Yes.
So it's my pleasure to ask you. So the first question, of course, we're coaches who speak and practice different languages. So my first question, what language do you like to coach, Spanish or English? And the second one, how to start to coach in a foreign language, in our case, in English. Maybe some recommendations for Russian-speaking coaches.
Let me take a risk. Doesn't matter the language. They are not the words. Look at the face, look at the eyes, look at the body. Listen to the music of the words. And there's the coaching. So don't worry if the words are not coming perfect, because the other one is not listening to the words. He's not looking for perfection. He's looking to feel that somebody is like a cushion where can say and be received softly. And as I told you, coaching happens when the client listens to himself or herself, not when you listen. Because when you try to listen, you are in control of the session. So the other one is thinking if it is answering right or wrong to you. And that's not coaching. Coaching is when there's the freedom to say whatever it comes to his mind or her mind. And nothing is wrong. Nothing is right. It's what happens to you. So if you offer the space, the other thing happens alone.
The language is not important in this case, yeah? It's your message. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So,
English, Spanish, Russian, it doesn't matter.
Whatever. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Whatever. Okay. Thank you for experience. Okay, and I think the last question before we let you go, Elena, we don't want, but we have to. So from Tamara, so in our chat box. Elena, did you use the metaphor with the fly as a dissociation instrument tool? Do you often use such instrument with clients?
I will not call that dissociation. I love philosophy, you know, and I study a lot about existentialism that I think is the basis that gave origin to coaching. We are living the Cartesian model that said that you were your liver, your heart, your mind, yeah? And I feel that I prefer this interpretation that we are one and that you can go and you can reach whatever you want if you really want it because you are able to learn. So there's no limit. I prefer that explanation. That's the first thing. Then you asked me about, tell me the question again from Tamara.
So just a second. So do you often use such instrument with clients?
Yeah. There's an author called Umberto Maturana that was the one that described the observer. None of us could see or hear the world as it is. We are subjective. We have a truth that is our truth. It's written with small letters, not with capital letters. Yes? So he says that you are used by an observer, that is the cultural observer. But you can also observe your observer. And that's the moment when you can observe your observer that you can see the size, the limits that that observing is putting on you. The metaphor of the fly is the observer of the observer and made that effect. She could say, it was the first time I was rejected. So that was the effect, having observed of the observer. I don't use it in every session. I had such a short time. I used a lot of time in helping her to be clear of what she was wanting in the session. Yes? So I had very little time and I went direct to change the observer. And I worked a lot in the observer, even with the metaphor of the blind people. Because once you change the observer, be sure that the action is going to change. You can ask very short about actions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Elena. So we have to finish our first part with you and let you go. We have some messages in our chat box. So Elena, thank you very much for this session. So great explanation, Elena. Thank you. Thank you a lot for the excellent session. Thank you, Elena. And of course, from my part, so I'm so grateful for you being with us, being so open, sharing your experience with us. Excellent session. A so open and sincere person, Elena. Thank you very much for your contribution to our development of our coaches here in Russia who love using English. You know, English connects us and it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful to talk with you in person, you know, like face to face without translating, without any interpreters translating. It's enjoying. It's fun. It's real fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you for this invitation. I am really moved and distances are so short in moments like this. And I feel so close to all of you that thank you very much for your appreciation and your love. And you can count with me for whatever you want. There's my email, write me, I'm here.
With pleasure, and see you in next ICF projects, and not only. See you in our next meetings, Elena. And have a nice day. Que tengas un buen día, Elena.
Ustedes también.
Muchos saludos desde Rusia.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, Elena. Okay. Thank you. Коллеги, мы с вами еще немножечко остаемся. Елену мы отпускаем. И мне бы хотелось оставить тех из вас, кто заинтересован в продолжении использования английского языка в коучинге. Может быть, кто-то из вас знает, что в сентябре стартуют программы, мои авторские программы английского языка по коучингу. Кому это не особо актуально, спасибо, что вы были, можете отсоединяться, запись я буду высылать, обязательно вышлю. А тем, кому интересно, пожалуйста, поставьте плюсик в чате или скажите голосом. Если такие коучи есть, я с удовольствием очень кратко, 5-10 минут, расскажу о своих программах, которые стартуют в сентябре. Коллеги. Можете голосом поделиться, либо чатом. Чатом пользуются не все. Так, вижу плюсики от Жанары, Олега. Так, Наталья, you're welcome. Очень приятно, что посещаете наши встречи. Так, Игорь, тоже вижу плюсик. Александр, большое спасибо за трансляцию сегодня. Коллеги, тогда хорошо, тогда, надеюсь, сейчас останутся те коучи, кому интересно буквально на 5-10 минут еще пообщаться, узнать о программах, потому что я вижу плюсы. Давайте тогда я включу демонстрацию экрана и займу у вас 10-15 минут времени и отвечу на ваши вопросы. Это замечательная возможность рассказать вам о новых программах. Теперь у меня их целых 3, коллеги. Поэтому сейчас очень кратко вам расскажу. И давайте использовать микрофон, коллеги. Давайте использовать микрофон, если у вас будут вопросы. Потому что это быстрее, это приятнее, это даже не больно. Так, коллеги, видно ли мой экран? Может ли кто-то сказать голосом? Жанара, вижу, вы с видео.
Да, я голосом. Видео тоже можно, да?
Конечно.
Потому что как это...
Нет,
все слышно хорошо.
Видно.
Смотрите, на демо-сессию я отключал видео, да, ваше, а сейчас, коллеги, включайте видео, если есть такая возможность, и голосом.
Дмитрий, на демо-сессию сама отключилась, все понятно, просто
да.
я это пошутила. Все слышно, все хорошо, продолжайте.
Отлично, отлично, хорошо. Тогда я вам расскажу. Первая программа – это базовая программа, она уже существует 1,5 года, English for Professional Coaches. Это базовая программа, она состоит из 6 модулей. Каждый модуль – это ваш уровень английского языка. Соответственно, вы проходите тестирование. Если ваш уровень стартовый, вы поступаете на 1-2 модуль. Если у вас уровень английского выше, соответственно, вы поступаете на более старшие курсы. 6 модулей. 6-й модуль уровня Advanced, когда у вас уже отличный английский, либо самостоятельно вы получили этот уровень, либо вы проходите несколько модулей в нашей программе. И, соответственно, в каждом модуле вы проходите интересный материал, он никогда не отличается, то есть он всегда разный. На первых модулях это базовые техники коучинга, на последних модулях мы уже изучаем кейсы, мы смотрим видео, мы смотрим демо-сессии на английском языке, мы их обсуждаем, мы читаем коучинговые книги, статьи коучей уровня Mcc, обсуждаем маркеры и компетенции ICF, то есть это вот уже старшие модули. Соответственно, тут у нас с вами не только английский и коучинг. Тем более, очень всегда приятно, что коучи из разных школ коучинговых, и мы делимся опытом. Вот таких 6 модулей. Соответственно, один модуль длится 3 месяца. Осенний есть модуль, зимний, весенний и летний. В течение 3-месячного модуля 24 групповых занятия, то есть 2 групповых занятия в неделю, плюс вы работаете в паре либо тройке, бесконечное количество раз, чем больше, тем лучше. И, конечно, есть общая группа, скайп-группа, наверное, многие из вас ее уже видели. Соответственно, там вы тоже можете находить партнеров для практики. И, конечно, регулярные встречи English Coaching Club. Это очень кратко по модулю. Ну и здесь на экране вы видите основные результаты. Эти результаты я вам обещаю, если вы проходите не один модуль, а, соответственно, вы с нами идете вот от вашей стартовой точки в английском языке до 6-го модуля. Вот все эти факторы вы видите на экране, я не буду их перечислять. Соответственно, вы проводите уже простые, а может быть не простые уже, а полноценные сессии на английском языке. У вас мощная поддерживающая среда, потому что это элементы менторинга, это элементы супервизии. Соответственно, это вот такой микс знаний, которые вы получаете, особенно на старших модулях программы. Очень кратко, могу долго рассказывать о своей базовой программе. Коллеги, вопросы? Какие есть вопросы? Я всегда ориентируюсь на вопросы. Задавайте голосом. Я, конечно, могу открыть чат, но лучше голосом.
Можно, Дмитрий, да, быстро задам? Может быть, я пропустила продолжительность программы. Вот с 11 сентября стартует.
3 месяца, Жанара. Каждый модуль длится 3 месяца. Соответственно, вы проходите тестирование, я определяю ваш уровень, набираю подходящую для вас подходящую группу 3 месяца. Модуль 3 месяца. И затем вы можете решить, есть ли у вас желание двигаться дальше. Есть коучи, которые проходят один модуль, есть коучи, которые проходят до конца. В конце 6-го модуля вы получаете сертификат. Сертификат выдается после последнего 6-го модуля, когда вы проходите экзаменационное испытание.
Спасибо.
Коллеги, вопросы по...
Вопрос еще.
Да. Как вас зовут?
Это
если
Айгуль.
можно...
Да, это Айгуль.
Да, Айгуль, слушаю вас.
Что-то у меня видео мое не показывает, но не страшно.
Можете голосом.
Да. Мне интересна программа тем, что есть возможность общаться, и хотела спросить, есть ли у вас там, возможно, вакансия ассистентом помогать готова, потому что у меня английский я свободно владею, работаю много лет с английским, и коучинг на английском провожу, то есть мне обучение как бы сильно не надо, но вот общение с коучами и коуч-сессии на английском, и готова помогать вам.
Айгуль, спасибо за желание. Смотрите, что касается программы, я буду привлекать ассистентов, которые уже знакомы с ними. Знаете, как в коучинговых школах, да, ассистенты обычно выпускники программ. Поэтому тут в программу я не могу вас позвать ассистентом. Это будут делать те коучи, которые прошли базовую программу и вторую программу. Но в январе мы проводим мощную конференцию. Может быть, вы в январе были, вернее, в феврале прошлого года на конференции. Если у вас есть желание, можете присоединяться к помощи в организации конференции на английском языке. Она будет международная, со спикерами из разных стран. Вот там, Айгуль, ваша помощь, я думаю, будет очень нужна. Если будет желание, обязательно присоединяйтесь. И вообще, проектов много очень. И клуб, соответственно, если у вас будет чем поделиться, мы можем с вами сделать отдельную встречу, и вы поделитесь с участниками. Ассистентам на программу сложнее, а вот все другие проекты с удовольствием, Айгуль.
Хорошо, договорились. Спасибо.
Коллеги, вопросы по базовой программе, прежде чем я перейду ко второй программе. Если есть у кого-то, можете писать, можете делиться голосом.
Дмитрий, у меня есть вопрос. Добрый вечер, Юля.
Да, слушаю вас.
У меня такой вопрос. У меня уровень английского, у меня есть желание работать на международном рынке. Вот. Уровень английского у меня свободный. Я не знаю, с 5 лет изучала его, и у меня не только английский, несколько языков. Но нету практики работы в коучинге на английском языке. И я подозреваю, что тут не всегда только этот словарный запас играет роль, да? Вот. И у меня такой вопрос. Если брать вот эту... Плюс я сейчас обучаюсь и у Ольги Рыбиной, и планирую стать Mcc в будущем. Да, то есть у меня уже уровень коучинга есть какой-то определенный, называется эта профессия. Но вопрос по вашей программе. Насколько она мне может быть интересна с точки зрения... вот зная, что у меня есть, не знаю, адванс или, свободный английский, да, в любом случае нужно тестирование. Насколько вы считаете, зная, что будет в программе, мне вот может быть интересно?
Спасибо за вопрос. В вашем случае я бы рекомендовал старшие модули этой программы. Так как я сказал, 5-6 модуль – это обсуждение кейсов на английском языке, это обсуждение маркеров уровня PCC. Так как я сам являюсь коучем уровня PCC, соответственно, я могу давать обратную связь, и коллеги будут в группе делиться, да. Плюс, соответственно, это уже свободное проведение коуч-сессий на английском языке. Не знаю, есть ли у вас опыт проведения коуч-сессии на английском языке, но все равно терминология есть определенная. Если вам интересно обсуждение демо-сессий на английском языке, маркеров и компетенций ICF, и, соответственно, проведение сессий, то есть это фокус на старших модулях. Соответственно, там уже коучи, у которых хороший уровень английского языка. Вы можете присоединяться. Либо есть еще вторая программа. Можем, в принципе, перейти ко второй программе. Возможно, она вам будет более интересна. Это программа для коучей, у которых высокий уровень английского языка и у которых есть уже определенный опыт ведения сессий на английском языке. Соответственно, эта программа только практика, это коучинговая практика, это проведение коуч-сессий с последующим обсуждением. На каждой встрече, это 12 встреч раз в неделю, на каждую встречу мы берем определенную компетенцию ICF, вы знаете, что их 11, и, соответственно, на каждой встрече мы анализируем все коуч-сессии по одной компетенции. Сначала мы кратко обсуждаем на английском языке, затем у нас проходит 1 или 2 коуч-сессии, где вы можете выступать коучем-клиентом, либо наблюдателем, и затем мы обсуждаем. Вот эта программа, возможно, будет для вас более интересна, хотя 5-6 модули базовой программы не менее интересны. Просто здесь фокус разный. 5 и 6 модули вы узнаете много о коучинге. Мы читаем статьи на английском языке коучей уровня Mcc, видео смотрим, обсуждаем. Это больше, скажем, супервизия и получение коучинговых знаний. А вторая программа – это чисто практика, это чистая коучинговая практика. Мы только практикуемся и, соответственно, укрепляем, закрепляем маркеры PCC. То есть фокусы разные. Чувствуете?
Поняла.
Да?
Спасибо вам огромное. Да, поняла.
Окей, коллеги, мы с вами перешли ко второй программе. Не знаю, есть ли еще вопросы по первой программе? Можем сейчас совместить вопросы по первой программе и по второй программе. Я очень кратко постарался рассказать про вторую программу. Коллеги, есть ли вопросы? Задавайте или ставьте минус в чате, чтобы я знал и не отнимал ваше драгоценное вечернее время.
Дмитрий, вопрос по стоимости вот второй коуч-практики.
Вторая коуч-практика, если я не ошибаюсь, сейчас я вам скажу точно, стоимость 3 месяцев, то есть, соответственно, тут нету модулей. Это вот программа рассчитана на 12 встреч, 3 месяца, 1 раз в неделю. Сейчас скажу вам стоимость. Стоимость в рублях 19 тысяч рублей. Да, вторая программа 19 тысяч рублей. Первая программа 17 тысяч рублей, которая помодульная. Соответственно, вы оплачиваете 1 модуль, вы обучаетесь, потом при желании переходите на второй модуль. Вторая программа, как правило, не модульная, то есть это 1 раз. Конечно, при желании вы можете ее повторять, если будет такая необходимость.
Понятно, спасибо большое.
Так. Коллеги, вопросы еще по второй программе?
Ну и, Дмитрий, возвращаясь к своему вопросу, пройдя вторую программу, уже потом можно будет поработать с вами в команде.
Айгуль, это все решается, соответственно, личным разговором. Сейчас сложно мне что-то обещать. Да, но желательно, чтобы вы почувствовали первую программу и вторую, иначе вам будет сложно работать тренером, не зная программу. Да? Я знаю, что это распространенная практика в Эриксоне, в МАКе в Москве, во всех коучинговых школах. Да? То есть вы должны почувствовать саму программу в качестве студента, да, хотя бы последний модуль, да, Айгуль, я говорю про базовую программу. Да. А потом уже, конечно, шансы есть, программа расширяется, больше и больше коучей интересуются именно вот этими программами английского языка для коучей. Коллеги, и тогда третья программа, и, соответственно, мы будем с вами заканчивать. Ну и, может быть, у вас возникнут еще вопросы. Третья программа – это самая новая, это индивидуальная программа. Если первая и вторая программы – это групповые, вы проходите в группе. Кстати, по количеству человек. Базовая программа, группы небольшие, как правило, 4-5 человек. 6, по-моему, ни разу не было. 4-5, обычно 4, иногда бывает 3. От 3 до 6 человек. Обычно 3-4 человека. Вторая программа, где только практика, до 10 человек. Но это зависит от сезона, от количества заявок, которые я получу. Вот. Но не больше 10 человек. Это требование ICF. Да? Не больше 10 человек, когда идет обсуждение коучинговых сессий. Третья программа – это индивидуальная. И это очень интересный формат. Это коуч-сессии со мной в качестве коуча или клиента. Ну, как правило, на роли коуча это можете определять вы. Но тут есть очень хорошая изюминка. Сессия продолжается 45 минут. Затем 15 минут идет обсуждение коуч-сессии на русском или английском языке. Плюс я определяю ваши зоны роста по английскому языку. Грамматика, лексика, еще что-то. То есть, соответственно, во время коуч-сессии я являюсь и коучем, и лингво-коучем, ментором. Я записываю ваши неточности, ошибки, и затем мы с вами прорабатываем. И таким образом от сессии к сессии, от недели к неделе вы улучшаете ваш английский. Всегда есть чему научиться и улучшить. И, соответственно, вы решаете ваши личные запросы. Вот эта программа очень интересная. Летом я ее апробировал летом, и 3 коуча ей воспользовались, и сейчас проходят, уже заканчивают летний цикл вот этой программы. То есть она рассчитана на осень. 6 сессий за осень. Сентябрь, октябрь, ноябрь. Соответственно, если у вас есть желание, вы тоже можете присоединяться к этой индивидуальной программе. Тут пожелание, либо это групповой формат, либо коучинг, либо индивидуальный формат, либо групповой, и что вам больше важно. Так, вижу вопросы. Олег спрашивает. Дмитрий, как попасть на старший модуль в сентябре? Тест ранее проходил. Олег, сейчас я сброшу ссылку на регистрацию. Пожалуйста, тест пройдите еще раз, потому что результаты могут поменяться. Если вы использовали английский язык, то каждый месяц результаты могут меняться. Предлагаю вам освежить их и, соответственно, занести форму регистрации. Коллеги, кто планирует записаться и пройти одну из программ, вот ссылочка есть в чате, на нее кликаете, и буквально 20 минут на тест и минут 5 на заполнение. То есть вам понадобится 25-30 минут вашего личного времени. Это вопрос Олега. Так, коллеги, больше вопросов я в чате не вижу. Если какие-то вопросы, задавайте голосом, если они есть.
У меня еще есть один вопрос по поводу требования ICF. Вы сказали, вторая программа, есть требования ICF определенные. Значит ли это, что она аккредитирована, эта программа, каким-то образом?
Так, спасибо за вопрос. Пока эта программа не аккредитована, но это у меня в планах. Почему не менее 10 человек? Я вам сейчас объясню. Я как коуч уровня PCC имею право проводить ментор-сессии. И в этой программе есть дополнительный плюсик. Вот видите, тут, по-моему, в конце написано, что в качестве дополнительной опции вы можете часы, где были коучем, в этой программе засчитать как ментор часы. Но там оплачивается немного дополнительно, потому что это уже засчитывается менторинг, и мы с вами более глубоко прорабатываем маркеры PCC, уже индивидуально немного. Да? Соответственно, не больше 10 человек. Вот это основной фактор, почему группа до 10 человек. Но вообще аккредитация – это хороший вопрос. Я об этом думаю, и я думаю, что где-то зимой этого года программа будет аккредитована на уровне CCE, баллы уровня CCE. Да.
Хорошо, спасибо.
Так, коллеги, еще вопросы?
Дим, вопрос Александра Грак. Скажи, пожалуйста, я правильно понимаю, что именно вторая программа, она будет аккредитацию проходить?
Да, но если вы планируете пройти сейчас, аккредитация будет где-то зимой, весной следующего года. То есть если у вас пунктик на аккредитации, вам нужны баллы CCE, тогда надо немного подождать. То есть вот с этим, скажем, осенним набором, соответственно, вы пока не получите баллы CCE.
Поняла,
Но
спасибо.
официальный менторинг для ICF вы уже можете получить. То есть часы менторинга для ICF уже можно будет засчитать с этой практики, с этой программы.
Спасибо.
Коллеги, я чувствую, что вы устали, или на все вопросы я ответил, и у нас с вами как раз время, 21:55 по Москве. Коллеги, спасибо вам. Хочется сказать по-русски слова благодарности за то, что были на встрече. Такие встречи я планирую организовывать регулярно, раз в месяц, может быть, раз в 2 месяца. Если вы хотите быть спикером на заседаниях English Coaching Club, можете мне написать, и мы с вами обсудим. Если вам есть чем поделиться и рассказать коллегам на английском языке, это будет здорово. То есть на встрече я приглашаю не только коучей, иностранных коучей уровня Mcc, но и также выпускников, русскоязычных коучей, которые поделиться чем-то ценным, где они являются экспертом, с другими коучами. И, конечно, это для вас практика на английском языке и тренинг. Да? Опыт проведения тренинга, либо встречи, семинара, вебинара на английском языке. Поэтому спасибо за то, что были сегодня с нами. Надеюсь, встреча была для вас полезной. И до новых встреч. Увидимся в сентябре или на следующих встречах English Coaching Club.
Спасибо, Дмитрий. До свидания.
Спасибо, коллеги. Отличного вам вечера и до встречи.